Welcome to the Fantasy Fact Check Week 2. I'm Connor Checkitts alongside your color commentator,
Grandpa Checkitts. Sit up, take note, pay attention, y'all. It's coming at you.
on the eve of the Centurion himself. Is that the proper word?
I think that works, yes. I'm now a Centurion.
Now giving all of his wise commentary on the Checkitts Fantasy League. Let's jump in. A quick message from a new young mind on the scene of football.
Really quite extraordinary.
Incredibly intelligent. The only reason I've heard he hasn't accepted a head coaching job in the NFL is because he doesn't think the players are good enough. They're not up to his standard.
Well, that may be, but I think part of the reason is he's 5.
He is 5. So let's turn it over to George for George's Coaching Corner.
Down better, broski!
George's Coaching Corner.
What the heck, bro? Welcome to George's Coaching Corner! We're so happy you're here. We're going to teach the worst players how to be the best players. Justin Fields, this is not how you throw. This is how you throw. Hey, Loveland, you have to block and catch. You're a tight end. You have to block and catch. Left and kick. Do you know how to kick, broski? You gotta kick it to your hand like this. Like this.
Oh!
Broncos and Cowboys. What kind of defense is that? You should do better. You have to shuffle your feet like this. Derrick Henry, what the heck, bro? You're doing some mean stuff and some weird stuff and some toilet stuff. This is how you run. That's how you do it! Touchdown! This has been George's Coaching Corner! Do better!
George, simply incredible. Your insights, your intellect, and your enthusiasm. Really nice job.
Amazing.
Yep.
All right, let's go into the weekly rundown, starting with my kind of pathetic performance against Charles. Drake May, the second-year player out of North Carolina, outperforming Josh Allen, who carried me last week. Charles really just handled me.
This was just meant to happen to you because you had such a big win beating Gabe the first time around, and you immediately did what decent teams do that are not great teams, and that is you got arrogant. You took it for granted. You didn't really look at your roster. You didn't think about changes. You didn't buckle down and do your duty. And Clyde just came along and kicked your rear end.
Handled me.
Yep.
Handled me.
Yes.
I'm thinking about J.K. Dobbins, putting him in, but there were really no adjustments I could have made.
Well,
to take down Charles.
you might need a session in Grandpa's war room, and I know it's
Hopefully
humiliating.
Hopefully
but
not.
when you need an expert, I'm here.
All right, let's go look at Gabe versus Teddy. We talked about Teddy having that fall from grace last
Yes,
week.
yep.
He continues to slide down this week. Gabe not putting up great numbers anywhere, but he had one special player. Grandpa, talk about that performance.
It should not be able to happen that you win with a kicker, but you did, Gabe. He had that very excellent Cowboys kicker who seems to be able to kick from either side of the field, and that's what won the game for him. He kicked one from 64 yards.
It looked like it could have been good from 74 yards.
know.
I mean, truly an incredible
So, Gabe, you
performance.
end up beating Teddy boys, and Teddy, do not get discouraged. I know you're 0-2, but Gabe, your team came through. Now, don't get arrogant. Just get on it and take a look at what you can do for next week.
So I gotta say, America's Game of the Week, Spencer versus Ashton. My prediction from last week was perfect. Bo Nix did have a bounce back game. Spencer did clear, but what I did not mention, Jamar Chase, absolute domination, almost a 30-pointer week for Jamar.
Quite amazing. And Ashton did have Christian McCaffrey, who made it back with the 49ers. He started him. He had 20 points, but it wasn't enough. Ashton, you got beat by a good 33 points.
Oof.
Just stop watching the Canadian Football League. This is an NFL game. NFL. This is...
National Football League does not stand for the nation of Canada.
No.
It is the United States nation.
Come on down. Stephon Diggs is done. And let's make some changes to this club. Don't sit by and just wait.
I had some insider discussions with Team Ashton, and he was talking about how if he can just get through this first stretch of 6 games, he gets Rashee Rice back after the 6-game suspension, and maybe he can start making some noise. He already has a win under his belt. I think if he can stay 500, 3-3 through those 6 weeks, he can come back with Rashee Rice and maybe make some noise in this league.
Spencer had another quarterback on his bench that played way better than Ashton's starting quarterback.
I mean, for the second straight week, better than Bo, Spencer's starting quarterback. Maybe there's a change there potentially for Trevor Lawrence for Bo Nix.
Depending on who the Jaguars are playing, Spencer, call me. I'll tell you whether to start Trevor.
Speaking of some insider knowledge, I also heard, going over to Clyde versus Thomas now, Andrew being investigated for collusion for convincing Clyde to start Justin Fields against the Bills defense over 3-time Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes. Justin Fields 3-4 points in this matchup. What do you think? What should the consequence be for Andrew if
that charge holds?
If it holds.
I actually don't think it will hold because Clyde won.
Nail biter, the only nail biter of the week.
If Clyde had lost, then I think there'd be questions, about Andrew and his collusion.
So we're playing the result now?
There are penalties. Well, no, we're not playing the result, but it's just less likely that our committee will believe it because Clyde actually won the game.
I think that's fair. I mean, everything else fell right for Clyde. You had Jonathan Taylor almost putting up a 30-piece. You had Puka looking like the Offensive Player of the Year, my prediction, putting up 23 points. Javonte Williams, Dallas's second running back, putting up 22 points.
But to your point, Clyde, if you had started Patrick instead of Justin, you would have won going away.
A 19-point swing.
So call me before you do something like that again, or listen to your dad as he tries to disobey all of our very strict rules.
A couple bright spots for Thomas. You had James Cook and Amon-Ra St. Brown both performing extremely well, but Derrick Henry, man, only putting up 2 points for King Henry. That is not what you're used to seeing out of him.
That's really strange.
So let's look at one of the worst teams in the league versus one of the best teams in the league. Andrew, the commissioner, looking really, really bad in this Week 2 performance, coming off of that pretty bad Week 1 performance. Didn't have a lot going on.
Connor, what exactly would you expect if you named your team the Rejects? That negative energy just changes all of the scores, and it affects all of the players on your fantasy team. They know that you have called them rejects, and they're playing like it, except for, of course, my quarterback, Jordan Love, of my Green Bay Packers, and Josh Jacobs, who both put up decent points.
The Packers looking good for Andrew. The Eagles continue to not look good for Andrew. He's getting no production out of the wide receiver department, and he got a straight 0 from the tight end.
Meanwhile, William wins with J.J. McCarthy at quarterback scoring a big 2.8, but literally everybody else on the field was terrific.
Malik freaking Neighbors. Will's hero, an absolute bloodbath in Dallas. Unfortunately, didn't get the result that he wanted from the Giants side of things, but for Team Little Giants, Team William, Malik Neighbors carried him over the finish line.
33.2 points. Quite remarkably, Nate came back.
After that embarrassing loss against a Canadian.
I know. That was, as I told him at the time, he worked for the NFL. Nate worked. He worked for the NFL. He played football, and he got beat by Ashton's team. This week, I think they were angry, and they beat the Miracles. Nate, very nice win.
Yeah, you have Lamar in this league. You're going to rack up a lot of points. I will say, Nate proved us both wrong. He didn't put in any of the subs that we urged him to. Yeah, none of those. He stuck with his guys. He stuck with Devontae Adams. Turns out, maybe isn't washed. On the other side, an ugly performance again by the Miracles, by Charlie's team. It's looking bleak quickly for the Miracles. A source has come in. Charlie has requested a meeting.
Well, we should bring him in because I mean, let's face it, with my past success in the fantasy league, I could really help him.
He is going to be the first in Grandpa Checkett's War Room.
It used to be called the Department of Defense. Now it's the Department of War, and this is the War Room for those seeking to rebuild their club and looking for the wisdom and direction and experience to do it. I am their guy. Good evening,
football fans.
Welcome to this segment of Grandpa Checkett's War Room. It used to be called Grandpa Checkett's Defense Room, but since Trump changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War, we've changed this now to the War Room. How do you feel about that, Charlie?
That's a good change.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, we're going to help you now turn this team around because Charlie is in last place in the Fantasy Football League. And we love him too much to let that happen. So I'm going to give him some special guidance and direction as to how to make your football team better, Charlie.
Thank you.
This is solely based on my great success in my years of fantasy football.
That's good.
So do you think I have enough credibility to give you some advice?
Definitely.
Okay. Let's do it then. Let's try to make the miracles. Joe Burrow is out.
He got hurt in week 2 to something called turf toe, and he's getting the surgery on it. He will be out for about 3 months.
Did anyone think for 1 minute to call a tow truck?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Now the Joe, who only scored 8 points last week,
Only
right?
8 points.
Toe or no toe, it was a bad game.
Wasn't a good game.
But what are your options now, Charlie, to make this club better?
I do have Justin Herbert as a backup. He had a fantastic week 1 against the Chiefs.
How many did he score?
I think he had like 27.
And he was on your bench, as I recall.
He was on my bench.
Yeah.
But I think he is obviously an amazing option as a starter. Another good option would have been Daniel Jones, but unfortunately Will took him.
Have you put in a call to Will's general manager to see if you could maybe secure the services of Daniel Jones? Maybe he would trade him.
I called him last night. He didn't pick up the phone, fortunately.
Pick up the phone, Will. This is a family league. Now, you also have no depth at running back. Krosky Merritt is just simply not the answer. How many points did he have last week?
1.7.
All right. Where could you get yourself a running back, Charlie? Is there a trade you could make, sign somebody in free agency?
There's not much in free agency. I have looked at the running backs. There's not much there that can help, but I have been experimenting.
I have 4 running backs.
Connor's got 4 running backs.
He does.
So you could make a deal there. You're not going to get Saquon.
I'm not going to get Saquon. I would love to get Bijan, but he's probably out of the option too. He is on Connor's team. He is one of the 4 running backs Connor has.
And then is that your tight end Kittle who's on the IR? Is that right?
Yes, George Kittle was unfortunately put on the IR after a hamstring injury against the Seahawks. I do have Pat Freiermuth on my bench. He's not the best tight end of all time, but he's certainly pretty good. You know, he's serviceable. I'm sure there's a trade or something I could do to acquire maybe a slightly better tight end.
Then Freiermuth?
Yeah.
How about Friar Tuck? That's so stupid. What do we do with Travis Hunter?
So he definitely hasn't been at all what I was expecting. I was really hoping that he would be, the rookie sensation everyone was saying he was going to be. He just hasn't. Yeah, he had 3.7 points this week. I think he had similar numbers to that in week 1. Mm-hmm. So he has not been putting up the numbers that I would have liked. So I have Romeo Doubs on my bench. He's a great option.
I don't believe any football player named Romeo. All right, Let's try this again. Romeo is your wide receiver.
He put up a lot more points than Travis did.
What about Debo? How come you haven't played Debo?
That's a really good question.
He's like one of my favorite players.
I didn't know that.
Did you ever see him in San Francisco? He was like a star.
He was pretty good.
I don't know how they let him get away. You didn't score all that much more than Romeo. Wherefore art thou, Romeo? Okay, so Charlie, what are the steps you're going to take to improve your team this week?
We're going to make some trades.
Okay.
The focus of my trades is going to be targeting a running back too. Krusky Merritt, he's not going to be able to get it done for the rest of the year.
He's not getting it done, no.
Another really high-level running back like Bucky Irvin, that'd be great.
Got to get the best player available.
Yes,
Charlie.
I do.
But do something. Don't do nothing.
Don't do nothing.
Do something.
Do something.
So you got to get a running back, wide receiver, tight end. Kittle is out.
Kittle is out.
You're going to
Joe
put
Burrow
Herbert
with
in.
Justin Herbert.
And you're going to put Debo in. You're going to
Debo
get
in for
Debo
Travis
on the
Hunter.
field. And who do you play this week, Charlie? Ashton grew up in Canada.
Yes.
He has watched the Canadian Football League. He has no business winning games here. I predict Charlie will come back, make these big changes, and he'll win this coming week. Be a big week for him.
I'm hoping so
Let's
too.
go.
I think it's going to be a strong week 3.
It is. Good for you. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Miracle Charlie with his hot take, his hot NFL take.
My NFL hot take for week 3, my non-biased take, is that the New York Giants will upset the Kansas City Chiefs against the 0-2 New York Giants.
Are they coming into New York? Are they in New York or is it in Kansas City?
I think it's in Arrowhead.
This has been Grandpa Checkett's War Room.
All right, Charlie, we got a big week for wide receivers, so we're going to do a blind ranking of wide receivers. This is just your opinion.
My opinion, all right.
Ready? First up, Malik Neighbors.
I would love to put him 1, but I do think we are going to get a better receiver. So I think 2 is the way to go with Malik.
Puka Nacua.
Yeah, that's got to be 1 for me. I love Puka.
Chris Godwin.
5.
Devontae Adams.
Oh, he played good. I like him. He can go 3.
And Justin Jefferson.
That's a bad 4 spot. Is this what I think of them, or is this how good I think they are?
That's how good they think you are.
Oh.
All right, so looking ahead to week 3, we wanted to pause, pull back, and look at the vibes and culture of these teams, looking at the team names, seeing how that can actually affect your team morale and your season.
Well, it does have an effect.
I agree.
Anytime the players go in, the wrong message to the players can mean everything. That's why I say, if your team's called the Rejects, I would change that name because it just gives them no confidence going in. And Spencer, by the way, look, you know I have a lot of love for Federal Heights, but to name your team after a place and a dog.
You don't like that team name.
I just didn't.
That's a shocker. I'm a big fan of that team.
You like that name?
I do.
Okay. Some people might describe it as a dog team. You can just never tell what people are going to say. Now look, the Carmel Carnivals. Charles is undefeated, but that's really not a football name.
It's not a great name. It's not a great name.
Carnivals? Carnival is chaos and phoniness and silliness. And this is a serious league.
This is a serious league.
Yeah.
You don't want to be giving off those vibes. I cannot agree more. Are there any team names here that you like?
I like the Corner Canyon Chargers, Teddy's team.
Yeah, just kind of plucking that from the high school.
Yeah,
over there,
but it's a great football high school.
It is a great football high school.
So you borrow a good name there. The Chargers is moving forward. The Goofs. Gabe.
Now, that is a 2-time defending champion, the Goofs.
But he's now 1-1. He's lost 1.
So already panic time for the Goofs, maybe.
Yeah, I might want to change that. Team Shimbashi sounds like a team that plays in Japan. And this is the National Football League.
This is America, actually. This is America.
You might think about a football name.
It's just lazy. It's the last name.
It was quick. Look, he's working 90 hours a week, so
sure.
We'll cut him a little bit of a break there.
You know my favorite team name? Miracles. It's a great team name. You know exactly who it is once you look at it.
Because after all, it's Miracle Charlie.
It's Miracle Charlie.
Yeah. Where did this
I literally have no idea.
Red Raiders. Where did that come
Is that from Nate's stint in Hawaii when he was White Lightning? Because if so, that's a good football name.
Yeah. What about Manhattan Bachelors?
I need to change my team name.
That sounds like a flag football team that plays in Central Park and gets whacked by everybody.
I need to change my team name. All right, let's look down because we only have 3 undefeated teams left, and 2 of them happen to be going up against each other.
So that the undefeated teams are Will's team,
Will's
Little
team,
Giants,
and then the Twinners. Charles and Will facing off against each other. Who do you have in this game?
I think Will wins that game. I think that Will has a slightly better team than Charles, but it'll be close.
I think this game does come down to the quarterback position. Will has a big decision he needs to make. Is Daniel Jones going to return to pumpkin mode, or is he going to continue to be amazing? Through 2 weeks, second in fantasy points out of everyone, trailing only Lamar Jackson. So does he make that change? If Will puts in Daniel Jones, I think he wins the football game. Otherwise, I think Charles takes it. So last game we'll cover for next week. Does Clyde remain undefeated, or does Nate carry the momentum from this killer week 2 and take him down?
Devontae Adams has blown his wad for the season on 1 week.
Wow, still no faith in Devontae Adams.
I think he's done, and I think that Clyde comes away with that victory. Yeah.
I will second you on that. I think Clyde remains undefeated, will remain one of the only undefeated teams left in this league.
It's a great league. You guys have all done good jobs, but it takes work during the week to really look at it, evaluate it,
analyze it.
Think about changes that you should make. And my strong advice from my years in fantasy football is to outwork the other guy. With that, this has been Fantasy Fact Football.
You got it. I know you have it.
Fantasy Football Facts and Figures. Wait a minute. Fantasy.
It's like our last name and
check
stuff. So close. Check.
Fantasy Fact Check. Pure and simple.